this is your time to go all in on your goals and your dreams, right? This is a phrase that I'm sure you've seen repeated across numerous YouTube videos, but what does that actually mean? Like, how do you actually go all in when you're working full time, when you have responsibilities outside of work, you come home, you're after like a long commute, you like end up eating dinner, you go to the gym or work out or whatever, and then you have time with your family, and then you have all these other things going on. And then that book that you want to write, that business you want to start, that song you want to write just gets pushed to the side, and then the next day starts and you're back in that cycle. So I've been struggling with this for a while, and I wanted to share a 3-step process that I've found personally that has helped me to just start getting momentum towards any project that you may have or any goal you may have outside of work in your general life that you have right now that you want to start making progress towards. So the first thing that I want to start off with here is clearly identifying what are your goals. And I know this is like a really general question, like, okay, everyone has goals. Everyone has things they want to do. They want to get fit. They want to start a business and make 10K a month. We all have these little goals, but I think writing them down on a piece of paper, or if you just have time right now while you're watching this, just go in your notes app, write down the first few goals that come to mind that you haven't really given much time and attention towards. And the second part is, once you've identified what are the goals you have, why are these important to you? What is the reason for why you want to achieve this goal? And a quick way to basically assess the impact of a goal, or like how important it is in your life, is to answer these 2 questions. So the first one is what you can use to determine your anti-vision or your anti-vision. I don't know how to pronounce it, anti, whatever. So the question is that I've asked myself too is, if I were to not achieve this goal this year or in the time period that you want to achieve it in, how would this affect my life? Would I feel the same? Would I feel much worse as a result? Is this something that I would absolutely regret if this never occurred, this never happened? That's what you really want to answer. And the second question now is flipping the coin on the positive side is, if I were to achieve this goal, how would my life change? How would my life improve? And that's when you can really start to visualize and see yourself as the person who has achieved that goal and what a day in that life would look like for you. And the next step here, so number 2, is now to create a plan for your goals. And obviously it's like, well, everyone knows how to create a plan. Like, come on, SMART goals. We learned this in school and work. Come on, like this is the easy thing. Why do we have to talk about this, right? But that's the thing. This is when it feels like impossible to do the thing, because we don't have time to plan. Like, let's be honest, when you're juggling so many different responsibilities, you really don't have enough time to dedicate towards creating a concrete plan. For an example is getting a job, right? You can apply to as many jobs as you want, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to get the job. But we do know that the input would be, in that case, an input-based goal would be applying to 10 jobs a day or reaching out to 10 people on LinkedIn. So these are input-based goals. So once you've defined like your output-based goal, make a list of all the input-based goals that are associated with increasing the likelihood of you actually achieving that goal. And once you've done that, the next step here is to break it down even further to what I call the time-based unit task that you can do every single day. Third thing I want to mention here is to create an accountability contract. This is super key, because now you aren't just going to be doing this by yourself, because someone's going to be keeping you accountable. And I've done this personally. I wrote out a list of all the goals that I had for last year, and I had one of my friends basically sign off on that. And then for each of those different input-based goals specifically, I had a set of repercussions that if I didn't complete this thing, then this would basically be the thing that I have to do, which would be, in this case, I had to donate money to a charity that I don't support, and I had to send money to my friend every day if I didn't work out, for example. So that was an input-based goal. And specifically that was like time-based, right? So that was like the time-based unit task that I talked about. And for that, I was sending him money, basically like $50 a day every time I didn't go to the gym, and I was losing so much money by doing that. So don't recommend starting off on that number, maybe $5, $10, whatever makes you feel like it's costing you something, right? Like you want to feel the pain of not doing the thing that you had set out to do on a day-to-day basis. And that is the whole purpose of this. So for the time-based unit tasks, like things that require you to do something for a certain period of time, make the repercussions or make the cost of not doing that much higher, because that's something that is easy and measurable as compared to an input-based goal is much more difficult. For example, if you want to be a YouTuber, right? saying that I'm going to write a script for a YouTube video for 1 hour a day, right? That's an input-based goal. So if you don't write the script, for example, then you have to send your friend like $50, for example, or donate to a charity you don't care about. But if the input-based goal that you have is to make a video a week, see, that requires now time that you don't really have a clear sense on how long that's going to take you. It's basically what works best for you. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where it's costing you way too much and you end up just depleting your bank account, for instance, right? Because you're not able to keep up with it. But having some sort of cost or some sort of ultimatum for not doing the thing that you said you're going to do is actually going to help you. So that's really important to put in the accountability agreement, and then have your friend or family member or whoever is your accountability partner sign off on that and get started right away. And then the best thing here would be if you both have something mutual, right? So like you have, for example, all your goals laid out, they're holding you accountable, but you're also holding them accountable as well, right? Because that way you can both grow together. And I think it's really important to have that kind of relationship, especially if you are really focused and you want to be able to see like a year from now that you've achieved all these goals, right? If you're on the same path as someone else who's also on a similar path, it can really help with motivation as well. So I definitely recommend that. So those are like the 3 main steps that I would recommend for going all in on your goals if you're working full time and you feel like you just have so much going on that you can't dedicate like any time right now to something that really matters to you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful. And if you're wondering why I'm filming in front of a wall, it's because I'm actually at an Airbnb. So I'm kind of in the middle of moving between places. So this is my new studio right here. But you know what? Like I said, there's no excuse to not make a video. There's no excuse to not go after the goals that you've set out to achieve, because it's really important. And don't ever feel discouraged that you can't do something because you've chosen a certain career path, or you have a family to take care of, you have, you know, someone who's not feeling well that you have to be there for. There's always time that you can spare to work towards your goals and dreams. And it's really important because that will allow you to be the person that you will truly love and admire, and you'll be a shining star, honestly, for the people around you, and a source of light and inspiration for those people who we really care about. So always remember that, and as always, stay hopeful. My name is Hopeful Hamza. This channel is about, you know, how to create a life where you're able to work towards your goals and dreams, be there for your loved ones, and make an impact in the world in a positive way. So I really appreciate you for watching this, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing week, an amazing rest of your year. Peace.